More news out of Ron DeSantis' Florida, a controversial proposal that would require online writers or bloggers who write about DeSantis or other government officials to register with the state, said with sarcasm. Now, it would also have to disclose who's paying them. Failure to do so would result in a daily fine, which would be very punitive for most people, $2,500 per post. Critics say this is part of the larger DeSantis crusade against free speech and the press, something we've been covering in tonight's broadcast on various points, including this public event where he called on lawmakers to police the media. Take a look.
Governor Ron DeSantis is now taking aim at us, the media.
He's launched a media war, claiming journalism has damaging impacts, and he wants the state legislature to do something about it.
Pursue the narrative. You're trying to advance the agenda, trying to get the clicks, and the fact-checking, the contrary facts, all that has kind of fallen by the wayside.
You ever feel like we're watching a movie? I mean, the guy has the word truth emblazoned behind him while he tries to literally get the media to register and be regulated and accountable to him. There's other separate censorship laws. Critics also say this really, in a very literal way, echoes Vladimir Putin's 2014 blogger law that forced those Russian bloggers to, wait for it, register with the government. Well, we have people who are skilled and thoughtful about these exact issues. My very special guest, Russian-born acclaimed novelist Gary Shteyngart. His work includes the best-selling books Absurdistan, Super Sad True Love Story. He was named a finalist for the National Books Critic Award in 2014. His new novel, Our Country Friends, is out in paperback. He was here discussing that, an interesting sort of, COVID,
thank you.
COVID story, but more than that. And as mentioned, our other in-house author, Chris Hayes, host of MSNBC's All In, who authored the bestsellers Twilight of the Elites, I should say, and Colony in a Nation. He also hosts a weekly podcast, Why Is This Happening? And is, of course, our colleague right here every night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to both of you.
I'm honored. This may be my first Fallback Friday, I think.
I think it is.
I think it's
and look who you pulled.
I know, it's great.
I'm so honored to fall back with you as well.
I'm going to start with Chris, although I want your Putin views. What should we think of when we see this out of Florida?
So I think I'm of two minds right about all of this with DeSantis, which is there's two tracks this is happening on. One track is performative. Like he wants to performatively pick fights with the media because that positions him in a way that is useful for him in running against Trump in the primary. And then there's a question of substantive, like what is actually happening. I think that I don't think that law would get past any
court.
Any court at all.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, right? There's always there's been some federal district judges who've had some wacky opinions recently. But the point is to have the right enemies. And then when you look at the stuff that's been happening on college campuses, where this has been operationalized, right? Where he does have control and where it's a much grayer area legally, right? In terms of, I interviewed a professor on Why Is This Happening who is at the University of Central Florida. It's the largest university in all of Florida. He is the lone black professor of sociology in the sociology department, and he teaches the big race and sociology class. He canceled it last semester.
Yeah.
Because just the class, just the body of work in the class, the critical reading on race, he was afraid would run afoul of the law that had been passed to essentially create a state-mandated ideology at the schools.
Well, and to your point, unlike press, which is supposed to be very independent, the state schools, they do have a little more governing authority, so it's scary that way. As we always say on TV, you're a Russian writer.
And that's all I hear.
Yeah, no, you're a Russian writer, among other things. What do you think?
It's incredible. Having been born in the Soviet Union in good old Leningrad, this feels so familiar and so close to my heart. Weirdly enough, I almost went to the New College of the University of Florida, which is one of the targets of DeSantis. I ended up at Oberlin, but I really wanted to go to a school in Florida. But all of this is it's not just out of the Putin playbook. You're absolutely right that there's that connection to Putin, but there's, the favorite of all conservatives these days is Viktor Orban, who has been using media in very similar ways. And there's echoes of that everywhere, from Netanyahu to Bolsonaro, to Trump. So.
Yes, and you see it with Modi's India as well. There's this sort of question of what does a sort of authoritarian control in the 21st century look like of the media, right? And, I think we have a lot of checks and balances in our ecosystem that prevent something like what has happened in Hungary with Orban. The big test for DeSantis is what does this look like in the context of a presidential campaign?
Yeah.
Right? Because his whole thing in Florida, which he's been very successful at, right? He doesn't talk to outlets that he thinks are not essentially allied with him. He just goes on Fox News. Yes. He holds very controlled press events. He doesn't sit for long interviews, right? Like, he so far has been successful in that specific ecosystem in sort of dominating and controlling what the messaging is. Will he be able to do that further on?
Right, which is
you're also our open question.
Yeah, you're talking about like the realpolitik banner and sort of wall of that. Does he run into that wall? Before we move on, just a quick fact check. If you're standing in front of a sign that says truth, does that mean you are truth?
Yes, I believe so.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, the sign, read the sign. Read the sign.
You can't fact check that.
Yeah.